Oh, that's right.
We are recording.
Excellent. Let's get started. Trustee Stevens, are you with us? Trustee,
Yes, I can hear you.
okay, excellent. We're going to begin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Suamico Village Board meeting for Monday, March 17th, 2025, 6 p.m. We have Trustee Stevens is on the phone remotely participating in this evening's meeting. Given our ordinances, he has every opportunity to participate in every way. However, in terms of votes, that is restricted, not able to vote when we are here remotely. So with that being said, I would look for a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
I'd like to move that we approve this evening's agenda.
Trustee Romas has offered a motion to approve the evening's agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second from Trustee McKeefery. Any other further questions or discussion on the evening's agenda? Let it be known we are 5 here at the DS this evening. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. At this time, let's stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Item number 5 this evening is public appearances. This is for anyone in the audience who wishes to come forward and speak on an item not on the agenda. We ask that you provide your name and address into the microphone and then let us know what's on your mind. If you are here for an item on the agenda, we will do everything possible to give you an opportunity to speak. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak on an item not on the agenda? Seeing no one, we will move on to item number 6. Item number 6 this evening is the consent agenda. It consists of previous minutes of the village board dated March 3rd, 2025, the February 2025 treasurer's report, the February 2025 municipal court report, and the February 2025 recreation report. Are there questions?
I got a question.
Please.
Let's see, there's 2 entries. There's graffiti. This is in the check register, page 1, graffiti at Bayport. And page 3, Howard Suamico School District, there's a check for vandalism to the football field.
Yeah, so those are reimbursements that we collect through the court.
Oh,
So we collect it through court
okay.
and then pay that back.
Okay,
Those parties.
and there's another thing, is the Historical Society paying for that fence?
They will be, we have not invoiced.
Oh,
Once
okay.
that's done,
So
it'll
there,
be an
it's
invoice.
in our check
We just had to
register,
buy it, and then they'll.
but they will be reimbursing?
Yeah.
Okay, then, motion to approve.
And seconded.
So we have a motion to approve the evening's consent agenda by Trustee Eckert, and that has been seconded by Trustee Romas. Any other further question or discussion on the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Okay, item number 7 this evening. Item 7A is an amendment to the development agreement with MBA Holding LLC. Administrator Kaker.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is just a follow-up from last week's meeting. Michael Brandt with MBA Holdings reached out to me and let me know that after talking to the purchaser and they saw the title work, they said that they prefer to handle the agreements through the lease rather than change a legal document, which is our development agreement. And for their reason is just that because they already ordered the title work, if we amended something that was in that title work, they'd have to do another scan of that. I know it's not cheap.
No.
So they're just handling it internally. We'll still manage the development agreement as written, so it will run with the land. So whoever the next owner is, they'll be held to the same rules and provisions in the existing development agreement. So there's no action needed by the village board on that item, but I want to make sure that you're aware of it since we talked about it last meeting. Any questions on that?
No.
Nope.
Nope. Thank you.
Very good. Item 7B this evening is ordinance 2025-2, amending Chapter 11.23, keeping of dangerous, potentially dangerous dogs regulated. Administrator Kaker.
Thank you. So this is the second reading of ordinance 2025-02, and essentially it just adds another definition for the dangerous/potentially dangerous dog that the animal control officer can use, as well as the committee can look at that when they are handling any appeals of such designation. Tonight, the village board could take action on approving the ordinance, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
And I'm going to vote against because I didn't think we needed to change it.
So help me with the history. There's a lot that goes on here. So the history on this. So as we went back, we had an ordinance in place, a dangerous dog ordinance in place, and then it was the vote of this board that sent it back to Public Health and Safety for review. Public Health and Safety then reviewed it. Did they review it twice?
I think there were a couple meetings that they met.
So
on
was
it, and
there
this
an
was their
initial review, and then they said, man, no action necessary, but we asked them to look at it again?
Well, are you going back multiple years? Because I know the committee did look at it maybe 3 or 4 years
Okay.
ago, and at that time.
That's what I'm
they
thinking of.
suggested no changes. And then last fall,
Okay.
last winter, you asked for the committee to look
So-
at it again, and this was their recommendation.
So just to be clear, so then it was this board that sent it back to Public Health and Safety for review,
Correct.
and then this is the recommendation coming forward from Public Health and Safety?
Correct.
Because we felt that we needed further definition on what a dangerous dog was, correct?
That, and I think it was in conjunction with the fact that the village board had another ordinance last year that changed the appeal process, wherein the
Yeah.
Health and Safety Committee would review all the appeals. So since that body was going to be taking on the appeals, it made sense for that committee to look at the entire ordinance and suggest any changes that could help them in any future appeal.
Makes sense. Okay.
If I may. So the thing I like about this edition is that everything else in A, B, and C is more or less subjective to some degree. D is an objective scale. So if a person says, oh, that dog is dangerous or whatever, well, you just look at level 4 and you can read exactly what that's why I like that definition. It brings up an objective measure to the ordinance.
Are you talking about item number 4 on page 3?
I'm talking about item D, which references level 4 for both the Dunbar and level 4 for the Shannon scale.
Okay.
So they're objective. Well, I'm not going to repeat myself.
So trustee Romas, why didn't you bring that up in the first?
No,
I mean, if you're concerned about it.
I'm not, to be clear, I support the revision.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. Because it's objective, trustee Andrews.
all right.
Anyone else? Trustee Stevens, any comments?
No, I'm supportive of what, I like the quantitative data that takes the subjective, I guess, dangerous situation, and we can quantify it.
Very good. All right. No further discussion, no further questions. All right, then we will take a vote on this. Madam Clerk, could we do this as a roll call, please?
Still need a
I-
motion.
Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-2, an ordinance amending chapter 11.23, keeping of dangerous/potentially dangerous dogs regulated.
I'll second.
Thank you. Trustee Andrews has offered a motion to approve the revised ordinance. That has been seconded by Trustee McKeefery. Very good. Roll call, please.
Absolutely. Trustee Andrews.
Aye.
Trustee Eckert.
Nay.
Trustee McKeefery.
Aye.
Trustee Romas.
Aye.
Trustee Stevens is unable to vote, and President Van Rossum.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1.
Very good. Okay, item 8A this evening is Resolution 25003, Tax Incremental District Number 2 Closure. Director Demeny.
All right, thank you. At the last village board meeting, we talked about closing TID 2 a year early. Kind of went through the stats about the TID. So this week, I have the attached resolution. If it's approved, then we notify the Wisconsin Department of Revenue about the termination. We then schedule the final independent audit that the district needs. Any excess tax increment will then be distributed to the taxing jurisdictions. Typically, this takes about a year, but this is the formal resolution that we would like to have approved to move forward.
All right, other questions for Finance Director Demeny? Questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion. I'll offer a motion to approve Resolution 25003, termination of tax incremental district number 2.
Second.
And I have a second from trustee Romas. All right, could we have a roll call, please?
You sure can. Trustee Eckert.
Aye.
Trustee McKeefery.
Aye.
Trustee Romas.
Aye.
Trustee Andrews.
Aye.
President Van Rossum.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously 5-0.
Just a side note on this. So when would this have, how early are we in terminating this?
Just closing it by a year. So it went through August of 2026
Okay.
is the original closure date. So we're starting the process now and, yeah, so a year early.
Okay, and then these funds are going, the excess funds distributed to a small portion to the village, a larger portion to the school district, some back to the,
Tech College and the county.
thank you. Okay. Very good. That's good news. All right, item number 9. Did I have that right? Nope. Yes, I did. Item number 9, Fire Department items. Resolution 25004, accepting a radio grant from the Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs and the Office of Emergency Communications. Administrator Kaker.
Thank you. So the board passed a resolution back in December supporting the grant application for interoperable radios for the fire department. And it was recently announced that the village was awarded $32,000 from the Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs and the Office of Emergency Communication. Exciting for a number of reasons, but one was, looking back at my emails in October, this is a grant that Ben Rogers, our shared grant writer, stumbled across, and he said that it's a long shot for a number of reasons. Do we still want to pursue it? And because he is in-house, this is a good example of because he was in-house, we said, sure, we'll try it, and ended up getting it. So this is $32,000 that our Equipment Replacement Reserve Fund will not have to cover.
That's awesome.
Happy to answer any questions on it, but we would be looking for an approval on the resolution tonight to accept those funds.
My only regret is that Joe is not here so that I can thank him for saving the village yet more money.
Well, you don't have to thank him. We can also thank Brent Ward. He did a lot of work on the
Also not
the
here.
application, but also Ben Rogers as well.
Also not here. But thank you to all of them.
Thank you to all of them. Yes.
That means I appreciate it. Trustee Andrews.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion on this item?
I would like to offer a motion.
Please do.
I would like to move that we approve resolution number 25004, which requests funding of $32,000 from the Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs / Office of Emergency Communications for the purchase of radios and communication equipment for the Suamico Fire Department.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
So we have a second, we have a motion on the floor from trustee Romas to approve Resolution 25004, accepting $32,000 in funding from the Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs Office of Emergency Communications for radios for the fire department, and that has been seconded by trustee Andrews. All right, any other further last-minute questions? Nothing? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee McKeefery.
Aye.
Trustee Romas.
Aye.
Trustee Andrews.
Aye.
Trustee Eckert.
Aye.
President Van Rossum.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously 5-0.
Excellent. Okay, Public Works items. Item 10A this evening is 2024 MS4 Annual Report. Director Smits.
All right, thank you. The village is required to comply with its municipal separate storm sewer system, also known as MS4 permit. The permit requires the approval of an annual report. Village Board must take public comments, review, and approve the annual report. The 2024 report must be submitted to the DNR by no later than March 31st of each year. The report details past activities and actions to determine compliance with permit conditions and requirements over the past year. The village currently has met all of its MS4 permit requirements. In the annual report, it highlights all of our yearly activities, which are listed in your packet. I won't bore you with all of them, but we would like to use this time tonight to discuss anything related to our MS4 or stormwater questions that anybody may have. We'd be happy to answer them and enlighten what we do, why we do it, and how we do it, and what requirements of DNR sets within our MS4. So tonight, we'd be looking to have comments, or receive comments from the public regarding the village's permit requirements, planning, actions, and the annual report, and then ultimately approve the annual report.
Okay, anyone, trustee Stevens, anyone with questions or comments for Director Smits on this?
Fine.
No comments here.
Thank you.
Fine work. Andy, can I ask a question? About how much time and resources does a report like this take from you and your team?
So it's an ongoing annual effort, so everything that we do throughout the year is tracked, recorded, submitted, whether it's through our staff time, through finance. It all comes together when we need to report everything that we did through the year. But I'd say on average throughout a whole year, it's probably, I'd say 50 to 60% of 3 of our staff time, collectively. It's quite a bit of time that's
Yeah.
involved between all the individual permits that are issued for any stormwater management plan, all this, every site that has work in this village, any new development, everything has to be reviewed and approved by us. Follow-up inspections on those sites, all of the stormwater education, public outreach, participation that we do, all the training and the consortiums that we attend. There's a lot that goes into it that, is often overlooked.
That's what I'm kind of curious about. I don't expect you to be able to give me an answer at today's
There's
meeting.
quite a bit of staff time, though.
I'm
I bet
curious
between
if
our
you can
engineer technicians,
find
over
that out.
half of their time together collectively would be spent on stormwater-related items.
Okay,
It's
that
a lot.
as part of this report.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, if you could give me that at some point.
Thousands of hours.
Yeah,
Thousands of hours?
It's a lot.
So if I were to make that statement to a legislator, that would be accurate if I said thousands of hours.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, just to put the report together, it took myself, Zach, and Reed, probably 2 to 3, almost 2 to 3 full days of just gathering data for the year and combining all of our documents and information, so that we could submit it through the DNR.
Thank you.
Yep.
So it says our current pollutant removal rates in the village, and it has an estimate of 63.2% suspended solids, 55% total phosphorus removal. Do we know how that compares to other municipalities?
We're definitely in a better position than most communities. Most communities are more urbanized than the village of Suamico. We have a lot of ditches and the green space and grass swales and stuff like that, which all goes into the modeling of how it calculates and models your reductions in those 2 parameters. So we're in a good position. We're only one of a couple communities in the state that actually meets their TMDL through the DNR. Most communities do not meet it, and they're on schedules and timelines to implement and construct stormwater devices to assist and aid in those removals. So anytime there's new development or redevelopment, they're held to a different standard because they need to install additional facilities to treat those areas because, a lot of cities are city block type. It's a lot of concrete and a lot of impervious and, prior to MS4, there was no treatment requirements, so nobody was concerned about it. So now as you redevelop those areas, you have to treat that stormwater. Same with roadways, road projects like Lineville Road, for example. Prior to the new construction, it never had any stormwater devices. Well, now you guys see the 2 ponds that have went in for those reasons.
They obviously feel it's necessary going to a 4-lane.
Yep.
Additional pavement. Okay. All right. Anyone else?
I'm glad you guys are asking some questions. This is pretty exciting. Most years you don't ask any questions.
I wasn't
So this
asking
is really
about
nice.
The font type. but
Well, I don't have
Van
I don't have a
Rossum.
question, but just a comment. I noticed that we've got Bay Harbor helping out with park cleanup and the Suamico Cemetery, as well as the Boy Scouts. I think that's amazing. Are we looking to expand that, or is, I mean, where we would get Suamico Elementary and maybe?
Yeah, we're trying to expand. We got both Zach and Reed are working with the schools on trying to get better groups or a larger group together at the schools, and they work with some of the teachers. But some years we connect on it, and some years we don't. But we're definitely trying to get the kids involved and get them out on these types of efforts. We used to do stenciling on all of our storm sewer catch basins or the inlets. We used to have a group of kids through Suamico Elementary that would go out and stencil little fish symbols, and then they'd have a piece of, like a bottle, and there's a line slashed through it to try to prevent, debris and garbage from getting into our inlets. So we lost that one last year, but we're hoping to pick that one back up this year with Suamico Elementary.
That'd be great.
It's very cool.
President Van Rossum, if I may, just for logistics, I believe you'll want to open the floor for any public comment and have that noted in the record for the minutes, so that if we get asked by the DNR, if we ask for public comment, you've got it.
Okay, do we need a motion to open it up for public? We
No.
do need, we
As the
don't?
chair, as the chair, you can just open it up.
All right, any other questions for Director Smits? Thank you for the direction. So at this time, I'd like to open the floor up for public comment on the 2024 MS4 Annual Report. Is there anyone here who has interest in comments, questions, anything on this report? All right. Let it be known that there are no public comments on this particular item. Very good. So with that, now we can look to a motion. We have the opportunity for a motion to recommend, to approve or not approve the report. Receive the comments from the public regarding the village's permit requirements. There were no comments, so we need a motion to approve the annual report or not. Is there a motion?
I'll motion to approve the annual report.
Trustee McKeefery has offered a motion to approve the annual report. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from Trustee Andrews. Very well. All right. Any other questions or comments? Very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0 to approve. Very good. Public Works items, item 10B, Consumer Confidence Report. And we're back to Director Smits for more questions.
Yep. All right, this is also known as our CCR report. This is required by the Federal Environmental Protection Agency. The CCR must be prepared and distributed by all community water systems in order to provide information concerning water quality from the previous monitoring year. The report identifies detected contaminants, compliance with drinking water rules, and educational language, and is based on information reported to the DNR throughout the year. So we compile all of our information on this template that you see on the screen. We send this out with usually our first quarter bills to all of our customers. We post it on our village website. We put it in our posting boards as well. And this all must be completed by July 1st each year. So this will go out with the first quarter bills. And if you have any questions, be happy to answer them. This is just for informational only.
Did you see any standout changes from last year's report to this?
Not really, no.
So in terms of, when we're looking at contaminant levels, everything was pretty consistent?
Yep, everything's pretty uniform from what we see year to year on the aquifer that we pull our water from here. Nothing has really declined or inclined on the scale. Everything is kind of right in line with where it has been. Not every inorganic or organic is tested each year. We're on a DNR schedule, so they set our sampling schedule, and some things are sampled every year, some are every other year, some are only once every 5 years.
And this report covers the aquifer that our wells draw from here locally?
Correct.
So is there a similar report then that comes out from Green Bay Metropolitan Water?
So Green Bay Met would be sewer, so they don't have anything to do with
Oh, sorry.
with drinking water.
Yep.
But the Central Brown County would have to provide one of these, and Green Bay Water Utility would have to provide one of
Okay.
these. But they both draw water from Lake Michigan, so I'm guessing it would look quite a bit different on the
Quite a bit
numbers.
different.
And I don't know if they'd even be required to sample for the same contaminants that we do here, because we're groundwater versus lake water.
Right, totally different. Okay,
But it'd probably look similar if you went like north to, maybe Lena or Coleman or something like that.
that could be a
you know.
different aquifer though,
Yeah.
too,
Yep.
right?
Just out of curiosity, it would be interesting to see. It would be interesting to see what the Green Bay water looks like compared to ours, just out of curiosity. Is that public record where you can just search it?
Yeah, they should have it on their website.
Anyone else? Nothing? No other comments? This was just for information only? Okay. That brings us to discussion on future agenda items. Anyone have future agenda items to discuss?
Would like to take the pulse of the board here. So we have 2 meetings a month, the first and the third Monday. Is there an ordinance or a reason why anyone here would have a problem with making it the second and the fourth? The reason why is that the school board meets the first. And if we ever wanted to go and attend a school board meeting, they're at the same time. The downside is that typically the first Monday, there would be like 3 more meetings a year because the first Monday sometimes falls like on election day or et cetera. But I'm just curious on a pulse of the board is like, leave it alone, it's fine, or I don't care what day the meeting is. So
Leave it alone.
that's the pulse is leave it alone.
Well, we'd have a conflict because we just moved the planning and zoning to second
Okay.
Monday to, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Anything else? I would just, to make the board aware, I believe the next meeting, we will be having a presentation from planning and zoning. So something to look forward to. There's been a lot of work done in planning and zoning over the many, many months. And some of the individuals, commissioners on that board have gotten together and are going to take additional time out of their day to come and present the findings of that commission. And many of them have taken it upon themselves, and additional work upon themselves outside of the meeting to bring some information to you. So they'll have that. Trustee Stevens has been leading that liaison of individuals from the commission. Trustee Stevens, did you have any additional comments you'd like to share?
No, we just, we have a series of storyboards, and we would like to share some of the current thinking, and we're looking for input from the board relative to direction as we look at our comprehensive plan for the village.
Very good. Okay, if there is nothing else, I would look for a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
I would like to,
Motion.
please.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Trustee Andrews has offered a motion to adjourn the evening's meeting. That has been seconded by Trustee Romas. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed. Motion carries 5-0. Our meeting this evening is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to the